So what's up?
Oh, you know.
Yeah, come on. First thing off the bat. Just woke up. Get funny. Get funny. Be relatable.
Oh god. Oh fuck. I started rewatching Clone High the other day.
How's that treating you? Nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys.
That's what actually. That and I like your funny words, Magic Man. That clip going around are what are just like making me like I should rewatch Clone High, and boy howdy, my
favorite line from that show that I'm always thinking of is what's it like? How to get my secret spaghetti tape?
I just watched that the other day. Oh god, I actually just started. So, Clone High came out when I was very young. Mm-hmm. I want to say I was probably in middle school. And I had been diagnosed with ADHD when I was in elementary school. So Clone High has an entire episode that is kind of lampooning sort of like the very special episodes about like HIV. But it uses ADD and ADHD as the stand-in. And I remember seeing that episode and just like, I don't know how to feel about this. And, like, I double don't know how to feel about it these days. Clone High has some shit in it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's a show from, like, early 2000s, so you know it does.
Yeah.
Tom Green is in that episode.
Is he playing Tom Green?
He is playing Tom Green. It's Tom Green as Tom Green. And like he's supposed to be like, oh, here's a celebrity who's been living with ADD/ADHD his whole life, like that kind of thing.
And does he do like a funny riff from Freddy Got Fingered?
He doesn't do a funny riff from Freddy Got Fingered. He does go chasing off after a plastic bag that distracts him, which jokes about ADD and ADHD always kind of sit weirdly with me, because on one hand it's just like, I don't know that I like that sort of thing being stereotyped, but on the other hand I'm just like, fuck, I do that sometimes, though.
Like, I do, but also that's just like, that's every joke about ADHD. It
is, like, God, get some new fucking material.
Right, honestly, like, ugh.
Like, I think, God, I want to say Mau Mau Heroes of Pure Heart had an episode where, like, one of their characters goes into, like, hyper-focus mode, and the entire episode is about them kind of, like, cleaning up all the weird inventions that he made while he was in hyper-focus mode.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked that bit, honestly. I thought that was very funny. That's a very good show.
Hell yeah. I'm behind on my cartoons. I haven't watched, like, any cartoons in so... Like, I've been watching anime, but I have not watched any of, like, the good cartoons I've heard so much about. Like, Infinity Train, what's the Netflix one? Like, Kipu? Do you know?
Kupo, Age of the Wonder Beasts, I think?
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah. That, Infinity Train, I never finished Steven's Universe.
I really want to fucking watch The Owl House.
Oh yeah, Owl House is definitely on there.
Mm-hmm.
I like the little dog man who has a skull.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He seems fun.
Yeah, American cartoons have been fucking up in their game recently. Like, holy shit!
Yeah.
Like every so often,
we've come a long way from Coconut Fred's Fruit Salad Island.
Oh god. But it's just like every so often, like I like scrolling through Twitter. It's just like, hey, here's this scene from Rise of the TMNT. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Honestly, what cartoon do you think spurred this movement to bet? Like, does this all trace back to Adventure Time?
God,
I mean, it's hard to trace like an origin story to this, like it is with like Prestige TV, because it's just like there's nothing like really unifying about these shows except them being good cartoons.
Yeah, I think we're just like at a point where like a lot of these cartoon studios are just like, fuck, what if we just went nuts with Avatar? Avatar was it? It was Avatar.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like now that I'm thinking about it, I'm just like, let me think back just like which cartoons I can think of recently that just went absolutely fucking nuts with like their like fight scene blocking their animation. I'm just like, oh right, Last Airbender, of fucking course.
Avatar walked so that My Little Pony Friendship is Magic could run, so that the Owl House and all those other shit could sprint.
God, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's the thing.
Thank you, Lauren Faust. Anyways, we're 6 minutes into this intro. Let's get to the episode.
Let's go.
Rating, everyone. It's your number one, what is it, your number one?
Pink that's not really pink color. I don't know.
It's your
weird
number
meteorites,
one pink...
Weird praying mantis.
It's your number one pink cast. I'm
Pink
Sarah, and I'm
cast.
joined by returning guest, friend of the show, Gage.
Hi, I'm Gage. What's going on? How's things? How's everybody doing? I hope you're all having a good day, staying hydrated.
I've got a big cup of water right here. I'm going to take a sippy.
Take that sippy.
What was the last movie you were on for? I don't remember off the top of my head.
I want to say it was Shutter Island.
Yeah, that's I think so too, but also like that felt so long ago that I'm like, surely there was a more recent one.
I think it's just that it was really long ago. I think it's just I haven't been on the show in a while.
Weird. Fucked up.
Fucked up if true.
So we watched a Nicolas Cage movie this week.
We sure did.
And it was pretty damn good.
It was.
Did we
watched...
I have no memories. Did we watch a Nicolas Cage movie recently? I feel like we did.
There's so many to choose from. The dude has done horror, so I feel like at some point you probably did.
Yeah, I feel like he's fresh on the brain for some reason, but no, last week was
Nick Cage Nick Cage just lives rent free in my head, so he's always fresh on the brain.
He could have been in Death Note. I think it's always a little bit gauche when like 20 or 30 something, when like young looking 20 or 30 somethings play high schoolers, but I think if you put Nick Cage playing Light Yagami or Light Turner as the movie called him, I think I would go for that. Just a fucking 50-year-old man as the high schooler. So
I apologize. I didn't listen to that episode. I should go back and listen to it because I have seen that movie and Jesus. But quick tangent. A while back, there was a trend going around on Twitter which is like, hey, if you search like your @ in like Google News, you can see any news articles that your tweet has shown up in. My tweet showed up in 2 articles about the Death Note movie. One from before its release and one from after. And it was specifically a tweet about how I wanted to see the movie for Willem Dafoe as Ryuk alone. Which I think is still an evergreen opinion, honestly. I
respect it.
Would you agree? Like, Willem Dafoe is maybe the best, in that role is probably the best thing about that movie.
Yeah, well, that and also the scene where a ladder decapitates some high schooler.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty good. I remember that scene vividly.
And also, Lakeith Stanfield as L, I think, was really good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
100%. But for more on that, listen to our episode on Death Note movie.
Oh, yeah.
This week, we watched Color Out of Speller.
Yes, that is what the movie is called. You are 100% right. I have no corrections here to be made.
Color Out of Space, starring Nick Cage and a bunch of other people who I don't recognize from elsewhere.
Yeah. Well, no, Tommy Chong's in it.
Oh yeah, how could I forget Tommy Chong being in this movie?
Straight up, Tommy Chong playing a stoner character. Who'd have thought?
We start with our title credits gives me a good vibe for this movie because this movie was produced by Bro Cinema.
Bro Cinema. The director of this movie. God, what did he do? He did Island of Dr. Moreau. This is his first return to the horror genre. So, God, Richard Stanley is who directed it.
Yeah. Wow, this is his first horror movie in 23 years.
And I personally, I would say he did a bang-up job.
I think he kind of knocked it out of the park.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I saw this movie. Like I had all so. Okay, couple things we need to kind of clear the air with. Couple things we need to get out of the way. This movie, if you aren't familiar with the title already, is an adaptation of a Lovecraft story. So, in kind of going over it, obviously there's a few things we have to tangle with. Lovecraft, notorious for being a huge racist.
Yes.
Like, even for the time that he lived in. Like, his level of racism made people uncomfortable. Even other racists. They're just like, whoa, dude, you gotta chill maybe, just a little bit. You named your cat what? Anyway. That's one of those fucking things where it's just like, oh yeah, just look up what Lovecraft named his cat. Like, you're not, it's almost comical. Like,
yeah, almost.
The extent to which this dude just sucked. Like, and there's evidence that, like, later on in his life, like, he's written letters about, like, being embarrassed of who he was when he was younger, but there's evidence later on in his life he did have, like, a hard left turn towards socialism, but that doesn't really matter when discussing his work, because the body of his work was written when he was a huge racist. So it's got racist themes, and we're going to be going over more of that as we go through the movie. But it is an adaptation of a Lovecraft story, probably one of the easier Lovecraft stories to adapt, just because there's a lot of Lovecraft stories where it's just like, oh, it's an invisible monster because your mind can't really comprehend it. So not a whole lot you really have to do in the way of effects, though boy howdy, they make their budget go like a few miles with this movie for sure.
Yeah. So we open with a girl, Lavinia, doing a cool ritual on a lake. Who's trying to she's trying to magic out her mother's cancer, which has already been kind of like which has already kind of been scienced out because she had a mastectomy.
Yeah.
But she's doing a ritual, and we meet Ward Phillips, the hydroelectric guy who wants to look at the water table and just happens across Lavinia doing her ritual. And she's like all pissed at him because she's like, this is private property. I need you to fucking leave, go fuck off. And Ward is like, oh, was that ritual Alexandrian, or what was the other thing he said? Do you remember?
Wiccan, just straight up.
Yeah. She's like, oh, this guy knows his things. Okay. Which is like, it feels like this is like seeding for something that happens later in the movie, but it doesn't actually happen, really. Like, this is Chekhov's knowing about Wicca.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it's just like, oh, you kind of establish, like, she's into occult shit. This is going to be important for shit she does later in the movie that may or may not have actually had an effect on anything that happens. But is it possible she made things worse? Who knows? She was reading, like, a fucking, like, mass market paperback edition of the Necronomicon. So, like, who knows how legit that was.
This is like the second movie in a month that we've covered that had a Necronomicon in it, because Jason Gohell, The Final Friday, also featured it. Also featured the Necronomicon, like the flesh book from Evil Dead in it, tying those universes together for some reason.
Like, and like that, I think that had a payoff in like a limited time comic book series where it was like Ash versus Freddy versus Jason. That's not even anything to do with this, but, like, I do remember hearing about that.
That sounds like a fun crossover.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, and so, like, she's just like, oh, this guy knows his stuff. Well, which do you think it was? She's like, definitely Alexandria. And she's like, oh, fuck, never mind. This dude's a fucking pleb. It's clearly Wiccan. Come on, man.
And so she rides off back to her family's farm, and we meet the rest of the family.
and the alpacas. But yeah, we meet the rest of the family. There's Nick Cage playing Nathaniel Gardner. I don't remember the mom's name right off the top of my head. Teresa? We're gonna go with Teresa. We're gonna go with Teresa until one of us looks it up on Wikipedia. There's her brother Benny, and then their baby brother Jack, and then their dog Sam.
Yeah, Sammy.
And the horse's name is Comet. How do I remember all that? I mean, we just watched it yesterday, obviously, but Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised with myself. Goodness. Go me. And we just kind of get, like, an idea of, like, all the characters' like, personalities. Like, oh, Benny's a stoner. Jack's maybe kind of a weird kid. Their mom works in, like, stock trading or something.
Yeah, she's a business babe.
She's girl boss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Most of the next few scenes are basically just like, oh, here's the family, here's their personalities, here's how they interact with each other. It's really just all kind of just like building up the characters. Like, nothing like super interesting happens. Like, the mother's always busy, so like the father's cooking. His cooking isn't exactly great. And, like, you know, they have a chore system. Lavinia wants to get out of Dodge. She's tired of being stuck with her family. Things like that. Her brother watches videos about black holes while getting stoned or something. I don't know.
Who among us? I mean, I normally just watch, like, speedrunning videos when I'm stoned, but that's just me.
And me, I don't do.
You do not partake in the marijuana.
I don't.
You already have a wife, so you're not the marriage wanter.
That's pretty good.
Thanks. I'm proud of that one.
I almost made a joke. There's a line in the movie where they reference Tommy Chong's character early on. And the mother is just like, are you telling me that he is smoking dope with that reprobate? And it's just like, Jesus, this movie came out in 2019. Who fucking says reprobate anymore?
Apparently this girl boss.
That feels like one of those things where that's where they're like taking... So like the opening of this movie... And, like, the entire, like, there's, like, an opening monologue set to some beautiful shots of the forest. Which this movie was filmed in Portugal, I found out.
Oh.
And there's just some beautiful shots of, like, the forest, and, like, there's mist everywhere, and there's a voiceover from Ward Phillips that it sounds like was taken directly from the text of The Color Out of Space by H.P. Lovecraft. Just because it's got kind of, like, his writing style.
Right, yeah.
Like, I think I was mentioning this during the movie. I've read a few Lovecraft stories. I read them, like, before, like, knowing how much of a huge racist piece of shit he was. And then, like, also read them afterwards and, like, went into them with a little bit more of an analytical mind and stuff like that. And both times, like, I gotta say, like, it's interesting reading it with that analytical edge, and most of them are public domain. So, and he's dead, so it's like, you know,
get his ass.
And it's just his writing is really difficult to fucking get through sometimes. He really, really likes to describe, like, the landscape, because, like, they all take place in New England. He was born in Providence, so on and so forth, in Rhode Island, because, God, I guess every, like, major horror novelist is from the fucking Northeast, and it's dense. There's a lot of purple prose there, so, like, going through, like, the opening monologue of this movie, just like, yeah, this sounds like something he would write, yeah. So reprobate feels like one of those things where it's just like, are they just trying to, like, capture, like, the early 1900-ishness of Lovecraft's work by, like, dropping words like reprobate in there? I don't know.
Yeah, I get you.
And then shit goes south.
Yeah, shit goes south because a big Nick Cage and Teresa are fucking, and Benny is watching cool space videos, and Lavinia is, I don't remember what Lavinia is doing at this time.
She was just sleeping on her bed, and it was covered in, like, half-eaten chicken wings and books, and it's just like, that can't be comfortable to sleep on.
I've slept on worse.
Okay.
But a big, huge purple rock comes out of the sky and crashes to the earth in their front yard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's purple, it's pink, it's a color.
It is a color. It's unlike any color I've ever seen. That wasn't a good Nick Cage impression. Don't praise me for that.
I won't.
Don't you dare even think about it. I have not done this man justice.
So the big purple rock comes down, and Jack is freaking the fuck out because Jack has already shown like a mild connection to the cosmic by like being like, there's stars in the bottom of this well. I can see the stars, which is like, you know, that's classic Lovecraft shit. Is seeing the cosmos.
Also, a little bit of foreshadowing.
Yeah.
So Jack has woken up. He's freaking out. The color envelops the house. Benny is now sitting and just like drooling all over himself at his computer, which always kind of like every time I see that, I'm just like, is that kid okay? Is he all right? Do we need to like
listen? Sometimes you smoke a little bit too much.
When those fucking edibles hit.
Yeah. The other, a couple of weeks ago, I rolled a joint out of some pretty potent stuff, and this was after I hadn't smoked for a little while. And I smoked the entire thing, and my body just like said, "Okay, bed, you sleep." Like I couldn't stay awake. I was just like sitting at my computer desk with my head in my hands, and just being like, "All right, it's time to go to sleep." And so I went to sleep.
Oh.
It was like a $20 melatonin tablet.
It's the good melatonin is what it is.
Tell you what though, slept like a baby.
Fucking melatonic. That sounds like a weed name.
Sure. You know what? We can work with that. Blair, edit that to be funny.
God. Oh, it is 10 a.m. So I'm still working off. Just like not getting
the
a
sleep
whole
crud
last night. I'm so sorry.
It's all good.
But yeah, meteor hits. Everybody's freaking out. Jack has gone just catatonic for a little bit. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
And
we go to the next morning when the mayor is there, and the mayor says, "We would like to monetize this rock." And
this meteorite is brought to you by our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends.
Let's play Rock Shadow Legends. Try now for free.
Go to the link here, Raid Shadow Legends / Lovecraft.
Touch the rock and get 10 free pulls in AFK Arena.
I can't make jokes about AFK Arena. Natalie plays that.
It seems like an okay game, but the ads it gives me are just absolutely garbage. Like it's just like you're like vaguely like all it is vaguely European guys like reacting to something that is obviously being like transposed onto their screens.
And then also Ezio is there now, I guess, or he was.
I don't know if that Ezio has come to AFK.
Which, like, Natalie told me about that, and it's just like, oh, Gage has to get into the AFK Arena now. I'm just like, I'm not getting into a gacha game. I'm not getting into a gacha game.
Sign up now for 1,000 for 10. Touch the rock now for 10,000 free gold in Rise of Kingdoms.
God,
I've
fucking under attack.
I have been getting bombarded with ads for Rise of Kingdoms for the last like 6 months. It's insufferable.
I get the ads for like the ones that are like in like a Family Guy style, and just like, I'll pull this lever and you'll douse him in lava.
Yep, that one too.
And like I downloaded the game because just like I need to see what this is all about. And then like I started up and it's just like, what the fuck is this Fallout Shelter shit? And I uninstalled it. I'm just like, I thought this was just gonna be like fun, clever minigame puzzles, but like no,
yeah, it's never that.
They're shit. Are you kidding?
Yeah, they just kind of be lying to you.
Anyways,
I wish PewDiePie had never said the N-word so that we could all so that I could just be getting ads for movies and shit again.
God damn it, PewDiePie. Anyways, so yeah, next morning the meteorite is no longer showing off its color. The mayor comes in, and the mayor's just like, this is great for tourism. And it's just like, okay, I mean, there's a huge chunk of rock in my front yard that fell from the sky. Okay, you know, you're gonna come back with news. Okay, bye. Have a good one. And then I think that night is the thunderstorm. And
yeah, that night is the thunderstorm. But before that, we Ward shows up and is like Lavinia is looking at him like, oh, he's kind of cute. So Nick Cage is like, all right, I'm gonna scare this guy off by milking an alpaca in front of him.
And boy howdy, he sure does drink that milk that he just got.
I really was hoping for like he milks the alpaca and then he like takes a big sippy, and I was really hoping we were gonna get like a gross ass alpaca milk mustache from him, but they cut away before we can get that.
Unfortunately, the scene cuts away. Yeah, and then I think from there
we go to Ezra.
That's when we go to Tommy Chong's character.
Yes, we go meet Tommy Chong, who's chilling in the woods. His name is Ezra, and he's a squatter. Mm-hmm. Benny takes him out there, and we meet Ezra, who's Tommy Chong, as we just said, and also his cat, G-Spot, which is...
inspired, one could say.
One could say that, yeah. I don't know if I would, but one could.
One could. Maybe not me, but someone out there.
They just like talk to him, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I've been recording beneath the floorboard. There's aliens down there. Bye."
And he's just like, "Yeah, sorry about the water. It's a little fucky. The water's a bit fucky, a little fucky wucky.
What? Oopsie whoopsie. The water's a little bit fucky wucky.
A little bit fucko boingo." And
you're gonna have a tummy grumbly because the water's fucky wucky.
And we're just like, I'm not going to drink this, but I may run some tests.
Yeah. And so then we get lightning happening.
And it's all being, like, drawn to the meteorite. It's just like, pew, 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 pew. And Lavinia's out there standing around. She's like, it's so beautiful. It's just like, yeah, it's not weird at all. It's not weird at all that it's striking that one exact spot, which is, like, the lowest point of, like, the surrounding forest. No, it's totally normal thing that's happening right now. Yeah,
completely normal. And the morning after, the lightning, it turns out the lightning made the rock disappear, and some very normal flowers grow around the well.
They're perennials.
Pomemimable.
And like we get a lot of instances of like these characters around there just kind of like drinking the water like they normally would, because they drink their water that comes out of their well.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, it's cleanest water you'll ever have. It's just like, okay.
Sure thing.
And it's just, things just kind of start sort of degrading from here, where it's just like technology starts fucking up. Everyone starts acting kind of weird. Like I'm trying to. I think the first major thing that happens is the thing with the mom.
Yeah, the first. Yeah, that's the first, because they're watching TV and Nick Cage is losing it because the news is doing like a fucking Fred Scooby Doo saying, "I think Coolsville sucks," and they're like completely manipulating everything that he says to make him be like, "Yeah, this guy's a big whiskey head, and he's a UFO. He spotted a UFO." Mm-hmm. And Nick Cage is losing it. Like, I didn't say that shit. You said UFO. And mom is just really not paying it any attention, and she's just like, she's cutting carrots and
chopping up some carrots. Satah's just making herself a nice dinner for her family.
Yeah, it's happy, it's smiling. We love it.
And then Nick Cage is like, "Hey Jack, can you go get your mother in here, please?" And Jack goes and he's like, Hey mom, Dad wants you in the living room." And then whoopsie daisy, mommy cuts her fingers off.
Yep, and then she turns around and looks at the camera and holds her fucked up hand up and says, "Dinner's ready."
And just like, oh no.
But they go to the hospital.
The hospital, yes. Often, I want to say, and this is a little so.
Arkham.
It's in Arkham. One of the neat things about this movie is kind of like how it sort of like hints at other like Lovecraft stuff, like. Just kind of as like, Lovecraft cinematic universe bullshit. Ward is wearing a t-shirt from Miskatonic University, which is kind of like the big sort of like central, like, hey, they know about magic there. Magic is like a secret class course. It's like ordering off the secret menu, but it's like secret college courses at Miskatonic University where they'll teach you fucked up black magic.
Yeah.
Arkham gets mentioned by name. Innsmouth gets mentioned by name. Dunwich gets mentioned by name, which, like, the director said that the next movie that he wants to do as part of, like, a Lovecraft adaptation trilogy is the Dunwich Horror. It's just, like, they go to the hospital in Arkham, the hospital, l'hôpital in Arkham. And he's just like, "Benny, you're man of the house now." And Benny's just like, "What?" And then, like, I keep saying that, like, this is where things get bad, because a good chunk of this movie is things just getting progressively worse.
Yeah.
Like, things start getting bad, and it's just, like, just bam, bam, bam. Just, like, constant train of just bad shit happening all the way to the end.
Yeah, kind of a downhill jam.
Oh yeah, 100%. Wasn't there like a Tony Hawk game that was like a
Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam? I believe it was a Wii exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
And it was
I think the one I'm thinking was like Tony Hawk Ride with like the skateboard peripheral.
Yeah, Tony Hawk Downhill Jam was it was like, how everyone loves racing to the finish line in Tony Hawk and not like doing cool tricks and getting massive amounts of points?
Oh yeah, that's absolutely everybody's favorite part of any Tony Hawk game ever.
So they just made a bunch of race to the finish levels, and that was Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam. I only ever played it in an Ashley furniture store. I know.
It's such a weird pull.
I know, right? It was weird that they had it there, but like my parents were looking at furniture and like, well, I'm not gonna not play Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam.
Like you're there, you might as well.
Yeah.
But like I'm having trouble remembering like the exact, like, Lavinia starts feeling sick. Jack starts talking by whistling to, like, I guess the person who lives in the well or whatever. There's a fucked up praying mantis looking thing that comes out of the well. It's the coolest fucking effect in the movie. I love it. I love that little guy.
It's the best looking bug I've ever seen.
Best looking bug. Got tentacles and everything. It's great. Benny starts losing time. Where, like, it's unclear if it's fucking with his head or if it's warping space-time, like, around them. But, like, this fucking meteorite is doing some weird shit. More of these flowers start popping up. The water gets even worse. Things like that.
Yeah, it just goes from bad to worse to even worse.
Mm-hmm.
It breaks worst for Lavinia when she is like, all right, I'm going to clean this knife off because it's got my mom's blood on it, and it'd be fucked up if we let this shit stain. So let's get these rubber gloves on and clean this up. And then she, like, loses, I don't know, like an hour or so.
It seems like she blacks out a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and when she comes to, like, the sink is overflowing with blood, and I wasn't able to tell if this was just, like, if there's a little bit of blood in water, like, it kind of, like, will
It'll, like, dissipate.
Yeah. But, like, I don't know if this was supposed to be, like, the water is all blood, or this is just, like, the blood is... I wasn't sure what was happening.
It's unclear if it's even real, honestly, because it never comes up again.
Yeah, I mean, she goes and throws up.
Yeah, well, no, I guess it is real, because she shows up later in a scene with another character, and she's still got, like, the blood stain on her eyebrow.
Yeah.
So it's just Gardner household fucked up and evil moments.
Yeah. At which point Ward shows up and is like, "Hey, no sippy water."
Yeah, don't sippy the water. And she's just like, "I think it's a little bit too late for that, buddy. I think you're a little too late." And then he goes to see Ezra, and Ezra is like on the ground with his shirt off, listening to the floor. And he's talked about, like, aliens that came down on the rock, and Ward's just like, "Okay, buddy, well, you have a good one with that." And it's just like,
and also no sippy.
And it's just like, "Oh, no sippy." Also, where's G-Spot? And it's just like, I get it. It's a funny joke. And Ezra's just like, "Oh, I think you'll see her, but I don't think you'll recognize her," which is foreshadowing. Ezra, for being a dude who lives in a shack out in the woods and smokes weed all day, seems to be incredibly on the ball. Which I guess, like, is maybe part of living in the woods and smoking weed all day. I would assume that, like, at some point, you're going to loop back around to being, like, hyper-aware of everything.
Yeah. It's like opposite day. Weed makes you funny when things are normal, but when things are fucked up, weed makes you normal.
Exactly. So, like, he's super on top of everything. Like, he knows that there's weird shit going on. He knows that G-Spot's now all fucked up. Which we'll get into in a bit. But yeah, like, this meteorite came down. Now shit's getting weird. Would this be a good time to talk about, like, the subtext of The Color Out of Space, like the original story?
Yeah, go for it.
So The Color Out of Space, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of Lovecraft's work, because he wrote it when he was incredibly racist, is about the decline of white America. For any number of reasons. Shadow over Innsmouth is about, like, interracial relationship. There's a lot that are about interracial relationships, actually. I'm just kind of realizing, like, because I think the Dunwich Horror is about that as well. In the Mouth of Madness, which is one of my personal favorites and has one of my favorite, like Cthulhu Mythos creatures in it, Shoggoths, is about how, like, shit went... like, America went to shit when slavery stopped, is what Lovecraft is trying to say in that one. Which is just like, Jesus Christ. And, like, I could get into the details of, like, kind of where that comes from, but, like, that would be a whole podcast in and of itself. The Color Out of Space is about immigration. Because you have an alien rock falls from the sky, and the entire story is about how, like, this alien rock, which is not from the place that we're from, is now changing the place to be like where it's from, and is fucking everything up for the poor white family that lives here. And the problem with a lot of Lovecraft adaptations is that they don't tackle the racism like maybe they should. Like, the one that I can think of in recent years that has done a better job of that than most has been The Sinking City, which is a video game that was released recently by Frogwares, who are best known for their Sherlock Holmes games, and it actually kind of directly tackles stuff like that. Apparently, you can punch out a clan member in that game, which I'm all for that.
Hell yeah.
But most Lovecraft adaptations just kind of do, like, a really sort of, like, surface level adaptation or use of, like, the terminology and the imagery and stuff like that without even really thinking about the racist implications, which gets really bad when you've got stuff like the Howard Lovecraft series, which is like Lovecraft babies, because it's a series of graphic novels that was adapted into a series of computer animated kids movies. This is a real thing. I am not making this up. Mark Hamill's in it.
Okay.
And in the second movie, Mark Hamill's character... So, in the second movie, Howard Lovecraft, Widow Babby Lovecraft, gets cursed. And he is being cursed to turn into a fish man, right? And Mark Hamill's character points out that Widow Babby Lovecraft is cursed by saying that he has the Innsmouth look.
Right.
Which, as a brief primer on what that means...
It means... It's the Innsmouth look is like preying on a fear of miscegenation.
It was what the protagonist of Shadow over Innsmouth used to describe how people from Innsmouth looked, because he couldn't tell what kind of race they were mixed with.
Yeah.
Which it's just like, you can't just put that in a media for kids without analyzing what that means first. Like, that's just tone deaf.
Yeah.
So, Color Out of Space 2019 maybe doesn't really tackle the racism as hard as it should. It doesn't not tackle it, because we should point out that Ward Phillips is played by a black man. He is played by a person of color. And like, he seems to be much like Tommy Chong's character, he is one of the people who is most on the ball with this whole thing, where he's just like, okay, something fucked up is happening here. You guys need to like be fucking careful. So, like, it's admittedly not maybe as hard as, like, an adaptation of Lovecraft should go for that sort of thing, but, like, it's better than nothing. It's better than I've seen other media handle this sort of thing.
Yeah.
So we have all this stuff about Lavinia getting sick, Jack having his weird moments, Benny losing time. Nick Cage and Mom come back.
Yes, they're on their way home from the hospital.
Yep. And they run across G-Spot, who isn't looking too good.
Yeah, looking a little bit irradiated.
Looking a little bit irradiated, a little bit, no fur. Doesn't have fur anymore. Might be glowing.
Might be. Hard to say. Kind of just... It's... I mean, G-Spot gets illuminated by their headlights, so, I mean, that could just be the shine from the headlights. But boy howdy, is G-Spot ever shiny. G-Spot is extremely shiny.
Yes. And G-Spot runs off into the woods.
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna keep saying G-Spot.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to say.
So they get home, and Nick Cage immediately starts freaking out. And because, like, Nick Cage and Mom start freaking out because Jack is standing outside unsupervised. The alpacas are still out. They haven't been put back in the barn yet. Potentially haven't been fed. And Nick Cage is lapsing into, like, this voice where he's, like, kind of freaking out a bit, get the fuck out of my sight, that sort of thing. Which he used earlier in the movie to describe his own father's voice.
Yeah.
And how much he hated his father and was scared of turning into him. So that's a little bit of that little, I don't know if that's imagery. I don't know what this is. It's a callback.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's something.
It sure is something. It's good filmmaking is what it is.
Yeah, definitely.
So he gets the alpacas back in the barn, and then it's a little bit before anything, like, incredibly fucked up happens, but, like, things still aren't going super great. Like, Nick Cage is just like, oh, we got a bumper crop of tomatoes. They're 3 months early. Oh, these peaches look great. Girl boss is trying to do her job, but like the satellite internet is fucking up, which satellite internet, from what I understand, is not great.
It seems like a bad idea, especially considering that satellite like TV is bad.
Yeah, it's unfortunately, because in my line of work, I'm a customer service representative for like a phone and internet company.
I'm so sorry.
So I hear about people who it's not a satellite internet company, thankfully.
Right.
But I hear about people who have satellite internet, and unfortunately, in some rural areas, it's really their only option. Which this
sucks,
area
shit.
that they're in does seem pretty rural. So she's having to deal with satellite internet, which cannot have very good download and upload speeds already, and then you have to deal with alien radiation? Fuck.
It's just it just gets worse and worse and worse, really.
And then Nick Cage has these these tomatoes look fucked up. Like,
yeah,
they're big tomatoes, and it's just like
they
you look at them
like
and just like you're either gonna taste great or you're gonna taste like shit.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood poll. You remember when Greed tied up Gluttony when he was like regenerating, and he just like had a ball of gluttony like being barely encased by a big thing of steel wire?
Gonna be real with you. Have not seen Brotherhood.
What? I could have sworn. Okay, well, it looks like that for anyone who's listening who has.
Have not seen Brotherhood. Never finished the original series either. Need to someday. Did watch the movie.
You watched Conqueror of Shambhala, but you haven't seen the...
No, the live-action movie.
Oh, the live... Okay.
The bad one.
God.
That was a bit of a roller coaster there.
Yeah. Oh, we skipped over something, which was Nick Cage busting in the shower drain too much, which is a joke that I made because he finds a jellyfish in the shower, but it does look like some nut is clogging the drain.
I missed that because I couldn't hear you over the movie.
Yeah, he said he busted too much in the shower drain because it's a jellyfish, but it looks like there's just like nut stuck in the shower drain.
And it stings him, and it's bad.
And it falls down the drain.
It's not a good time.
But then there's fucked up tomatoes, and then Nick Cage is like, "Oh, these tomatoes fucking suck. They taste like shit. I'm gonna dunk them in the trash can."
And he dunks every single one. Like he's just going for it. He's got mad dunks.
He's just taking it all the way to the hoop.
Dunks like a truck. That's a different thing. That is a different reference.
It's okay. And so, later that night, Nick Cage's arms look like rocks in the desert. Like, it looks like fucking bad.
This dude growing scales.
Yeah, his arms have been diagnosed with bad disease.
He is TFing into a lizard.
God, I wish that were me.
I was gonna say the same thing.
In this weather? Can you imagine? I look at Smile and I see her sitting in her 106 degree sun lamp, and I'm like, damn, I wish I could enjoy the heat like that.
God, and I'm in Texas, so I got that good shit.
Mm-hmm. God, I forgot you were in Texas. That's right.
I've bounced around a lot in the last few years.
Yeah, you're still just you're still a Boston boy to me.
I mean, I'm always gonna be a Boston boy.
Yeah.
I always catch people off guard when I'm on the phone, because brief tangent about my job. The area that I service is northern New England, like Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont. I always catch people off guard when I tell them I'm down in Texas, and then every so often I'll get someone just you don't sound like you're from Texas, and they're just well, actually I'm from Massachusetts.
Yeah.
But yeah, the tomatoes suck, and Nick Cage's Nick Cage's arms have bad disease, and
yeah, the terminal case of bad.
Terminal case of bad. So, at some point, Jack and Benny get up, and they're just there's some weird noise. There's some weird lights and noises coming from the barn. So they go to investigate. I forget the exact circumstances surrounding them both deciding to go. But they both go, and there's an alpaca amalgamate in there. The alpacas have fused, which is not the kind of behavior we want to see in alpacas.
Yeah,
it's
not
generally
ideal.
not a good sign. you're gonna want to maybe get your deposit back on those alpacas.
Yeah, see if you can get at least a partial refund on those bad boys.
Yeah. They might
full
take
refund. Full refund is probably going to be a bit of a tough pitch, but you can probably get a partial, no problem.
Yeah, you know what it was, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I think it was that Sam, the dog, had gone missing, like, the night before.
Yes.
Or at some point earlier in the day. And then they heard Sam noises, I think?
From the alpaca pile?
From the alpaca pile, which Sam might have been in the alpaca pile, might have been in the well. It's unclear.
Yeah.
So they go to investigate, they find the alpaca pile, and they're just like, oh shit, and then, like, pink lights start shooting out everywhere, which, I kind of brought this up while we were watching the movie. I think it was a very, admittedly kind of inspired idea to make the color sort of a pink hue, because this is something that, like, I don't know exactly how true this is, but I remember seeing, like, a while back, something about how, like, when we see pink, what we're really seeing, like, our brain kind of trying to process a color that, technically speaking, should not exist on the color spectrum.
Yeah.
So the fact that, like, the color out of space, which is supposed to be an unidentifiable color, which is a weird thing to think about to start with, it works to have it be pink. So, like, I'm down with that, for sure.
Yeah, it's good.
But pink light starts shooting out everywhere. There's, like, tendrils of pink light. Tentacles start happening. As anybody who's familiar with Lovecraft's work know, dude hated octopi and, like, cephalopods and shit like that. And black people. Hated cephalopods
but there's force lightning now because the dead speak.
The dead speak. Yes.
You know, like funny sure. Star Wars.
Okay, funny Star Wars. Okay, I wasn't sure where we were going with that.
That's how the title card for Rise of Skywalker opens, right? I haven't seen it.
It has been a hot minute since I watched Rise of Skywalker. I started watching through all the Star Wars movies again recently. I haven't gotten around to rewatching The Last Jedi yet, and I don't know if I'm looking forward to rewatching Rise of Skywalker.
They fly now.
They fly now.
They fly now.
They fly now. Like, that's not even, like, the worst line in that movie.
Oh, Otacon. They fly now.
Otacon.
They should, yeah, that, God, I would... The Monkey's Paw Curls in a Metal Gear Solid movie is finally made, but it's directed by J.J. Abrams.
Well, hold on. It's being directed by the guy who made Kong Skull Island.
Oh, wait, it's actually happening?
That's happening. It is directed by the guy who made Kong Skull Island.
Okay, that's fine.
So, like, and he's been, like, sharing, like, Metal Gear Solid, like, art that he's commissioned. And it all looks fantastic. I
am loving to hear this.
So, like, I trust him, honestly. I trust him and his beard. He was in Death Stranding, actually.
Oh. Norman Reedus' Funky Fetus.
Yeah, he's one of those, like, celebrity pulls that Kojima managed to get in there. Along with, like, Junji Ito and Sam Lake and Conan O'Brien.
The cast in that game was something else, really.
Sure fucking was. But yeah, pink tendrils going everywhere. Betty books it for the house. Mom has come running out because she's worried about Jack, and she hugs Jack, but they're maybe not as far from the barn as they should be. Yeah,
they get blasted by laser.
They get
blasted by purple, and they get fused into one being, and it's fucked up.
They get pretty Baja blasted, yeah. I don't think there's a pink flavor of Mountain Dew that I can reference here, so I'm just gonna go with Baja blasted.
Hold on. There's a flavor that was like revealed the other day. Hold on.
Oh God, was there? I hope I can get it. There's been such a dearth of, like, additional Mountain Dew flavors ever since the pandemic started. I've been dying. I've been so depraved.
Or
deprived.
The best I can do is Mountain Dew Game Fuel Zero Charged Watermelon Shock.
I actually had some of that recently.
Yeah?
It was fine, although I didn't realize it was, like, no sugar, so, like, it had that, like, aspartame taste to it.
There's also a Mountain Dew Major Melon I'm hearing things about.
Ooh, okay. I'm on board. The last melon flavor they did was Frostbite, which had a shark on the can, so I was very happy with that.
There's also a gingerbread flavor coming.
Okay, now you're just making shit up.
No, I'm not.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Per comicbook.com, new Mountain Dew flavor might be permanent. Gingerbread holiday soda also reportedly on the way.
Fuck it. I'll give it a try. Why not?
Yeah, honestly.
But they get Baja Blasted, or I guess, what was the Melon Madness?
They get Major Meloned.
They get Major Meloned. And
the new girl in... Wow, I'm horny anime protagonist. The new girl in school has Major Melons.
I wasn't sure where you were going with that until you said a horny anime protagonist. I'm just like, okay,
She's got absolutely massive gongonkaboos.
Me? Gongaga.
Me? Gumbabagoos.
Goban Honkaro. Okay, fucking...
Me? Major Melon.
I'm losing my mind here. We've got like a third of this movie to get through.
Yeah, but like, the last of it's kind of action-packed.
Okay, hold on. I need to take a moment.
Sure.
I'm losing breath here.
But so, Mom Jack gets fused into... Mom Jack, who is one entity now, who I will be calling Mom Jack. Just one. Mom Jack, you get one.
Also known as Mac or Jom.
I will... No, not also known as. It is Mom Jack or Jack Mom. No portmanteaus here.
Okay, we need to come to a consensus. If
Mom
it's going
Jack.
to be Mom Jack or Jack Mom, we should probably go with Mom Jack because hers is the dominant personality.
Yeah, she's the one who they call her Mom, and that's just mother. Like, Jack is gone basically to them.
He's just kind of sticking out of her back, honestly.
Yeah.
He's just kind of hanging out.
But
she's making some terrifying noises.
Yeah.
Like, it's awful. There's like squelching, it's gross.
And Nick Cage is like, okay, I'm gonna go to hospital, I guess. And his car won't start, and he throws like a 30-second tantrum, and it's good acting to me.
It's good. Genuinely, it is a good freak out. Nick Cage does some good goddamn freakouts.
Yeah, like best in the business.
Oh, 100%. He earned that pyramid in New Orleans.
Oh yeah. What?
Is it New Orleans or is it Las Vegas? No, it's New Orleans.
What?
Have you not seen Nick Cage's future grave?
Did he say "Sight, catch me dead in that iTume"?
Hold on.
You
keep going over stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and look this up.
Fucking Nick Cage goes out to the barn and is like, all right, well, the least I can do, if I can't go anywhere, the least I can do is kill these fucking alpacas, and he like kills the alpaca massa, but he like shunts Mom Jack up into a room upstairs to keep her locked away from the rest of the house, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna do what I gots to do, and is like, he's gonna shoot her, and then he's like, nah, never mind, you're good, you just stay here and chill.
He's just like, mwah, 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 and he kisses her, and there's weird strands of gross stuff.
Yeah. Lavinia and Benny try to leave, but the horse Comet just like fucks off, and they're like, well, I guess we're staying here. And then Benny is like, oh shit, do you hear that? It's Sam. He's coming from the bottom of the well. I gotta go get him. And then Benny starts climbing down the well, and it does like a fucking explosion of purple pink out of the bottom of the well, and he like puts on some goggles that he found earlier in the movie, and it's very funny because it does absolutely nothing, because it just obliterates him.
What is the purpose of the goggles? Fucking nothing. The goggles do nothing.
They make me look cool.
Alright,
let's see. Nick Cage is like, okay, Lavinia, you gotta go into your room with Mom Jack, and Mom Jack tries to eat Lavinia.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
And around this time,
I'm gonna go ahead and well, there isn't really. Should I put it in just like the general shot?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. There's Nick Cage's pyramid tomb in New Orleans.
Well,
you can't say that I'm lying.
No, I can't.
That's what it is.
It sure as shit is. Holy fuck.
I mean, I get it. I would also want to be buried in a pyramid. That's some dope shit.
You would also love to say, "Sight, catch me dead in that eye tomb." Okay.
So he gets got. Nick Cage drags Lavinia upstairs, and then meanwhile, elsewhere, which like it feels like I think what it is. One of the weird things is that like there's shots in sort of like the sort of like central town where Ward is trying to meet with the mayor to call off the construction of the reservoir that he's there to like study the water table for.
Yeah.
Because there's shit's wrong with the water. Water is infected with bad.
Yeah.
And when he's there, it's the middle of the day. And the sheriff is there and he's just like, yo, check out what this dude just found near the Gardner place. And they pull it back, and there's, like, a bunch of, like, irradiated-looking animals, including, but not limited to, G-Spot.
Yeah.
We
also the alpaca mask.
Found G-Spot.
And also the alpaca mask.
I don't remember if the alpaca mask... I wouldn't be
Is
surprised
it not?
if
I kind of assumed it was. It looked similar to me, but...
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we did it. We found G-Spot. So, Ward and the sheriff decide... We should probably go check out the Gardner place, huh? It might be a good idea. So they go there and they show up after Lavinia has been locked in the attic with Mom Jack, who is now menacing her. Nick Cage is hallucinating his family sitting with him watching TV, and he's scratching at his weird scales. And they hear Lavinia screaming in the attic. They go up there, bust down the door, and they're just like, holy fucking shit, what the fuck is that thing? Because, like, Jesus Christ. Then Nick Cage comes up and he blasts the shit out of Mom Jack, which is like, where were you, like, 10 minutes ago? Where was this version of Dad Cage?
Yeah, where was this guy?
Like, what the fuck? And then, so, like, they get Lavinia out of there, and they, go downstairs, and they go outside, and, Ward and Lavinia are standing outside the house when, like, the color starts pouring out of the well, right? Nick Cage comes out of the house, and he's just like, the color. And he raises his gun, and it's unclear whether he was going to shoot at the color or shoot at Ward. But the sheriff assumes that he is about to shoot at Ward.
So he blasts him.
So he blasts Nick Cage. We should say just blast him, because, like, we need to specify. He does blast Nick Cage.
He puts a hole in his tummy.
Oh, yeah. And he's bleeding. He's dying. Lavinia's just like, oh, my God, you shot my dad. And I'm just sitting there just like, he tried to feed you to a thing that used to be both your mom and your brother.
Your mom brother. Your brom.
Momther.
Your mom, yeah, your mom there.
And Ward is just like, Lavinia, we have to get out of here. And Lavinia's just like, it won't let us leave. And he's just like, okay, I'll come back for you. And they're just like, we gotta go get Ezra, because Ezra is living on the property. So they go over, and this is like my favorite scene in the film.
Ezra is talking like a fucking Bloodborne voiceover here.
Oh, yeah. Should specify, Ezra is dead, and it looks like he's been
super dead.
It looks like he's been dead for a while. It doesn't look like a guy who is like only like a couple of days dead. It looks like he's been dead for like a month. And he's got an audio recording that he made, and like it's distorted and fucked up, and it's a really good... I believe the trope for this is apocalyptic log.
Uh-huh.
And it's a really good example of that trope.
Yeah.
And then, like, Ezra's body starts falling apart, the color starts bursting out of him, Ward and the sheriff run off, and then the color's like, fuck cops, picks him up, starts murdering him with a tree.
Yeah, the sheriff, specifically.
The sheriff, yeah. Ward runs back to the house, sees Lavinia standing next to the well, the color bursts out in this huge pink tornado. Color busting through. Lavinia looks Ward dead in the eye, and Ward gets a vision of the world that the color comes from. And it's the exact sort of shit you would expect from Eldritch Horror.
Yeah.
Like, unknowable monoliths, tentacles everywhere, unseen skies, the good shit, right?
Uh-huh.
Ward freaks out, he falls backward, the grass starts grabbing at him, Lavinia evaporates.
She just goes poof.
She go poof. And then time starts getting weird.
Uh-huh.
Time and space. And, like, this is a really, really good application of the smudge tool I've seen in a movie.
Yeah.
Do you want to go ahead and
you take
bring
this.
us home here?
You take
sure?
this. Yeah.
Okay. So Ward is just, like, he gets, like, this weird look on his face, and you see that, like, his own, like, self is kind of, like, dragging through the air. Like I said, so like someone went in Photoshop and just kind of took a smudge tool.
It looks like that thing that used to happen in like Windows 98 when a window would like freeze up and you could drag it around and there would be like an after image.
Oh yeah, exactly. So he makes his way into the house, and inside is Nick Cage speaking with the voices of every single family member. The first one he speaks with is Lavinia's voice when she was flirting with Ward. So that's maybe a little odd.
Yeah.
And then there's like a bunch of flashes of light, and like you could see what I would assume are like the spirits of the family sitting on the couch next to him. Good effect, I gotta say. Like this whole final sequence is like, it's visually incredible. Ward managed, because like Nick Cage is coming out. I forget if he has like an axe. He's coming at him with something. And Ward is trying to get away. Finds the wine cellar that Nick Cage went into earlier on in the movie, Chekhov's wine cellar. Makes his way down there and just hunkers down. All the wine bottles burst. There's all this noise. The pink tornado flies up into the sky, and then everything stops.
Uh-huh.
And when Ward awakes and emerges, all color is gone from the landscape.
Yep.
In the story, this is referred to as the blasted heath, what's left behind when the color leaves. It's just, the landscape is just dead for like miles around. And what follows is just kind of like Ward's like final monologue about like, hey, shit was weird. I don't think it's over. There's something coming for us. And he's just like, the reservoir got built, but I'm not gonna drink the water. I don't think. I think it would probably be good for me to no sippy.
Yeah, no sippy.
Me no sippy. And like he's all he's like fucking punished Ward at this point. He's like got like, you know, all this facial hair, and he's smoking a cigarette, and he flicks it off into the reservoir. Because let's be real, a cigarette in the reservoir is not the worst thing in that water right now.
Yeah, and then we get the latest title card I've ever seen in a movie.
As the fucked up praying mantis flies across the screen, which is another little bit of reference to the story where, because this wasn't something that was actually like fully shown in the movie, is that when the color leaves, a piece of it is supposed to fall behind and fall back to Earth. So you can kind of take that praying mantis still being there as like there's still a piece of the color left behind.
Huh, okay. And not like the end of the Brothers Grimm, where a bird holding a piece of witch glass flies at the camera for a final jump scare to say "to be continued."
Ooh, I need to rewatch that movie at some point.
We watched it for Fear Baiting a month or two ago. It was good. I liked it.
Mm-hmm. I think I saw that in theaters, actually.
So that's the movie.
That's the movie.
That's Colorado Space. So, Gage, on a scale of 0 to 5, mom jacks, how many mom jacks are you going to give this one?
I absolutely love this movie.
It's pretty good.
I would probably say, like, I might take a little bit off just for maybe not tackling sort of like the racist subtext and implications of Lovecraft's work as hard as it could have. Yeah. I would maybe give it 4.5 out of 5 mom jacks.
Like, I feel like it's a little bit irresponsible to do a Lovecraft adaptation and not like focus
directly
on those aspects. Yeah. Like, you can't just you it's really hard to you really can't just like cherry pick Lovecraft.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah.
Which
so yeah, 4.5 out of 5 mom jacks for me. How about you?
Yeah, I'm landing at about 4. I think I'm going to land at like 4 solid, maybe 4.5 mom jacks. So 4 mom jacks and a jack.
Okay, we're going with the latter half of mom jack for the 0.5. Okay.
Well, no. I think that like four mom jacks and a jack is like closer to like maybe like a 4.3 out of 5.
Okay,
and then,
so I would probably go with 4 mom jacks and then a mom.
Yeah, okay, that's about what I figured, yeah. Yeah, I like this movie a lot. We got a question.
We do.
This question from @FlourishCaster, who wants to know, what is your general feeling towards Lovecraft? Bad. Complex.
Very complex. Because, like, here's the thing. Okay, so, I want to go ahead and just put this out there. H. Bomber Guy has a really good video about this. Specifically with regards to a 2008 movie called Cthulhu, which was it was produced by a company that is like primarily like an LGBT film company, and it has sort of, the main character is gay. The storyline is centered around, like, rather than racism, the sort of like weird mixed feelings about like somebody returning to like their hometown when like their hometown doesn't really understand them, or maybe it's like a bigoted hometown, things like that. H. Bomber Guy has a really good video about that sort of thing with regards to like how kind of like we can approach Lovecraft in these days and age. Like, a lot of times you can read Lovecraft's work without ever knowing any of like sort of like the racist subtext. Once you know it's there, it's really easy to see. But like, it's one of those things that, like, you know, fuck it, he's not making money from it anymore. He died broke and alone. Most of it is public domain at this point, so you may as well interact with it on some level. It's really good for stuff like critical reading and things like that, and also just like, whether we like it or not, dude launched an entire genre of horror.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like, we can't interact with horror, like the sort of like cosmic horror, eldritch horror, without sort of like contending with that necessarily.
Yeah, kind of in a similar way that like it's hard to interact with like certain genres of fantasy without interacting with Tolkien's shitty racism.
Mm-hmm. And Tolkien's shitty racism is like Lovecraft is admittedly almost an entirely different level.
Yeah.
Where like Tolkien feels a lot more like maybe he didn't 100% realize what he was doing, but it kind of seeped in.
He probably, I mean, I don't know. I think that's giving a bit too much benefit of the doubt to a guy who's been dead for so long. Like I would be
too much benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if Tolkien's racism was like completely accidental.
I would say it's more like Tolkien probably didn't write Lord of the Rings to be racist.
It was just, whereas Lovecraft was like, okay, I have to make stories expressing how uncomfortable I am with black people.
Exactly, yeah. So, and, like, it's important to engage with these texts. Like, you can read and enjoy Lovecraft's work. Like, as long... You have to be analytical. You have to...
Be critical.
Make sure you're critical, that you're analyzing, like, what you're reading. You're analyzing what you enjoy about it, acknowledging what's actually there. In the Mouth of Madness is my favorite Lovecraft story, like I said. But that's the one that's all about how, like, things were better when slavery was a thing.
Yeah.
So, like, I can say I really like In the Mouth of Madness. I really like a lot of, like, the things that kind of came out of that, while also acknowledging that, wow, okay, yeah, subtext is maybe, I'm not going, you can't ignore it, is what I'm saying.
You can't just say I am not looking.
Yeah, like, the thing is that whenever this sort of, I commission, because I play a lot of, like, sort of, like, Lovecraft-inspired games on, like, my stream. Like, I've played Call of Cthulhu, I've played Moons of Madness, things like that. Dark Corners of the Earth. I commissioned art for that back when I was going to play the 2018 Call of Cthulhu game from Ian, Knucklebone, on Twitter. His work is fantastic. Highly recommend checking him out. And it's basically just Acid Shark, his arm is morphing into a tentacles. He's holding like a Cthulhu chalice with like a little umbrella sticking out of it. He's got like eyes growing down the side of his head, and he's wearing a t-shirt that says Lovecraft was racist. And even just like a basic declaration like that brings people out of the woodwork. There's just like, well, Lovecraft actually turned towards socialism later in his life. And it's just like, that doesn't matter, is the thing. Because he didn't write his books when he was a socialist.
Yeah.
And, like, later in his life, we're talking, like, maybe... I don't know. I think he died fairly young. I think he was in his, like, 40s. And I think that was, like, the last few years of his life. For the majority of his life, and for the time that he spent writing his, like, short stories, novellas, all that, he was a racist to an uncomfortable degree. So, like, I like reading these stories. I honestly kind of like, sometimes, like, the descriptions the way that Lovecraft, like, describes, like, the landscapes in, like, northern New England and stuff like that. But I'm also critical of them. Because I know what he was about, and I know what these stories were about. So, like, I can read Shadow over Innsmouth before I know that about his huge racism, and then I can read it after, and I can see, like, okay, I'm seeing the threads that maybe I missed before. And, like, I can... It's sometimes fun to read things from an analytical point of view, honestly. Yeah. I went into a bit of a tangent there, sorry.
Flourishcaster also asks, what other Lovecraft adaptations have you seen or played? You just rattled off a handful of them, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I rattled off a bunch.
So that answers that question.
Yeah, Call of Cthulhu, Dark Corners of the Earth is a big one. The 2008 movie Cthulhu, which is a gay movie. That one's a weird one. I don't know if I would necessarily.
Sorry, were you saying that is a gay movie or a gay movie, like game movie?
Gay.
Okay.
Like Gay.
Okay.
Protagonist is gay. It's about being gay.
Good shit.
Which, like, fucking, like, I think about that and just like, wow, Lovecraft would probably be spinning in his grave about this, so I'm on board with that. Director hated making it, though. So, I mean, like, okay, you know what? That's fine. That's fair. And then, like, I watched, like, a silent version of the Call of Cthulhu. Like, there was like, an independent movie studio that made, like, a silent film version of that. That was pretty alright, all things considered, if I remember it properly. There's not a whole lot. It's kind of difficult to adapt Lovecraft's work. Things that are Lovecraftian or more eldritch horror, you end up finding a lot more of those, and like things with like eldritch horror like inspirations, like Dishonored has a lot of that in it actually. The work of Chris Straub, if you look into like some of his like more horror centric work, he's the one who wrote the Candle Cove creepypasta. He had a whole webcomic forever ago. I don't know if it's still going, called Brood Hollow. That was incredible. Honestly, like, it had great comedic beats, but like when it got into like the horror side of things, it was fucking chilling. But yeah, how about you, Sarah? You have you seen or played anything?
Bloodborne.
I almost forgot about Bloodborne. How could I have forgotten about Bloodborne? Bloodborne is like the best example of this sort of thing.
I don't know. Bloodborne's not fresh on the brain for people who have not like played it bajillions of times. I feel like
that's true. But yeah,
but Bloodborne is always on my mind. Like I'm literally just always like I just beat the game again like a month ago, and I'm still currently thinking like, what did I play Bloodborne again though?
What have I played Bloodborne again?
Flourishcaster also asked, how does
kind of get it? Anyway, sorry.
Flourishcaster also asked, how does Color Out of Space stack up? Pretty good.
I would say it's the best Lovecraft adaptation I've ever seen. Honestly,
I have not seen enough Lovecraft adaptations to say that definitively, but I will say pretty good.
I've seen a few.
All right, recommendation. Oh, go on.
I was about to start comparing it to other things, but like I'm going to go off on a whole other tangent if I do. So yeah, let's get to recommendations.
Yeah, we're running long as it is.
Yeah.
So
I talk a lot.
Recommendations, Gage. It's okay, Gage. What are you recommending this week?
This week I'm actually going to recommend a YouTube channel that I frequent and that I am a patron for, called Transparency. It's two trans women from Sweden. They do a bunch of video essays about all manner of subjects. They had one recently that was about the cultural identity of Moomin. They did one about the ethics surrounding the Giga Leak. They did one about the visual identity of Sonic the Hedgehog. Highly recommend checking them out. I believe it's just Transparency on YouTube. I'm going to look that up while you make your recommendation.
My recommendation this week is just going to be Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2. I love it. It's so fucking good to play. I really just... It's a good fucking video game, and it's a shining beacon of light in this dreadful year.
Yeah. I haven't played it yet. I want to. There's no way that they were able to keep Spider-Man in that, right?
I doubt it. Yeah, I kind of doubt it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it is. If you look up Transparency on YouTube, it's the one with the cute little face for the icon.
Yeah.
Highly recommend. But yeah.
Tony Honey's Pro Scony 1+Tony.
Tone of Hawks Pros Gator.
There we go. Gage, thank you so much for coming on again. It was a blast.
I had a lot of fun. Thank you for having me on again, Sarah.
Yeah, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at sane_intolerant. You can also find me on YouTube at youtube.com/saneintolerant and Twitch at twitch.tv/saneintolerant, where I stream. I've actually got a stream I'm doing today. Today is Sunday, September 6th. So I'm going to need to get ready for that soon. But yeah, I stream, I write, I am all around a cool guy.
Nice. If you want to find us elsewhere, we are on Twitter at fearbaiting. We are Gmail, fearbaiting@gmail.com. We don't use Tumblr, but if you want to check out our defunct Tumblr, you can go to fearbaiting.tumblr.com. And if you want to support the podcast, you can go to patreon.com/fearbaiting. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
And you can give us money. $1 a month gives you early access to the episodes. $5 a month gets your name right on the podcast and a message right on the show. $10 a month gets you all that stuff, and you get to make us watch a movie of your choice. So thank you very much to Ducky Aisha, Paul Moran, Kit Spindler, and Michael Kaiser. We love you all so much. Thank you very much to Satah for doing the intro and outro music. You can find their music under People You Meet Outside of Bars, or head to just gaygothvibes.online to get to their stuff. Thank you to Blair for editing. He is on Twitter at Blair Kitsch. Thank you to Matt GameCube for creating and hosting the Noisepace.xyz podcast network that this and so many other great podcasts are hosted on. If you want to find me elsewhere, I'm Sunhatzhenya on Twitter, SUNHATZHENYA. You can listen to me on my other podcast, The Wonder Years, which just released a new episode a couple days ago, and we're recording a new one soon at the time you're hearing this. So we're back. We're in that home stretch, and Henry Kissinger's Pokemon Going to Die, which is the Leftism podcast that I do, which we just recorded another episode of and put up another episode of yesterday. The title is great. I'm going to read it for you right now because the title is extremely good, which is Shrek's Dick Candle, bracket, possible misinformation, and bracket.
You know, you say you're in the home stretch for the Wonder Years, but didn't they, just announce that there was going to be, a new live-action Animorph series?
Yeah, I've got no faith in that being good, but we'll talk about it on the show.
Inevitably, yeah.
Inevitably, yeah. Okay, so that's going to do it for this week's episode of Fear Baiting. But until next time, I'm Sarah.
I'm Gage.
And remember,
you can put a fucked up guy anywhere.
Good night, everyone.